Build a modular Eurorack with us. First, case. The first step is to choose a Eurorack case that already offers you a built-in power supply. You can also check unpowered cases and buy power supply and bus board extra. Or you can build your own one like we did with this one. The capacity of any modular case is measured in units, called HP. It stands for horizontal pitch. 1 HP is 0.2 inch or 5 millimeters. Second, power supply. It can be very helpful to choose a case that comes with a power supply. Eurorack uses a standard power format with plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, and plus 5 volts power lines. If you're choosing your own power supply, keep its total amperage in mind as you're selecting models. For all the models you'll be using, check the total power consumption and make sure your power supply can provide more than that. There is cheap power solutions like Meanwell, which can work just fine, but you might experience voltage fluctuations or noise. In order to prevent that, we advise you to choose better quality power supplies like Doppler or other well-known brands. The modules will connect to a bus board via a 10 or 16-pin power cable, depending on the design of the module. Our CubuSynth bus board offers connectors for up to 16 modules. Third, oscillator or sound source, VCO. Your initial sound could come from an oscillator. Your VCO is going to generate a continuous full voltage signal. The CubuSynth engine features 2 VCOs in one model. It has 14 different outputs, giving you many possibilities of creating your sound. Fourth, VCA/VCF. Much like the voltage-controlled oscillator, VCO, the voltage-controlled amplifier, or VCA, is an essential piece of a Eurorack rig. If you want to control the volume of the sound or CV signal, you'll need at least one VCA. Our dual vintage VCA features 2 of them. With a VCF, you can shape the sound even more by filtering the frequencies of the incoming signal. The CubuSynth VCFA combines 3 filter modes with the VCA, which saves you an extra module. Fifth, Modulation Source. Now that you have the tools to create and shape your sound, it's time to choose the tools to control them. There are endless ways to create control voltage, to adjust the parameters of your models, but 2 of the most common are envelope and LFOs. An envelope generator will let you give a shape to the sound, like the naturalistic rise and fall of notes as heard on acoustic instruments. This is where the common terminology of synth sound design, attack, decay, sustain and release, or ADSR, steps in. To give form to notes, you'll adjust each of those parameters on the envelope generator. When it is controlling a VCA, you'll be shaping the amplitude, but you can also shape how the filter interacts by using another ADSR envelope to modulate the filter's cutoff frequency. 6. Sequencer/CV MIDI interface. Now you need to find out how to trigger your modules. For example, with a MIDI interface or a DC-coupled audio interface from your computer. Playing in real time with the controller or using some form of sequencer. By using a DC-coupled audio interface, you will save space in your rack and don't need an extra module for MIDI conversion or sequencing. Last but not least, it's the 7th step. Patch cables form the connections between your Eurorack models. Ensure you purchase cables of the correct length to reach the terminals you want. Eurorack patch cables are similar to the small headphones plugs, but with 1 audio channel, mono, as opposed to 2, stereo. You'll be using them way more often than many other cables in your studio, so make sure you get good cables that will stand up to long-term use and abuse. If you decide to start your journey into modular, think about if you want to use it at home or on a live performance, which kind of sounds you want to generate, and your budget. Keep in mind that it can easily get expensive, so it's important for you to focus in what your synth should be able to do. We hope you found this information helpful, and now you have an idea where to start your Eurorack synthesizer.